Welcome back to Afternoon Break. Now, many of us wear those heart rate monitors when we exercise. Maybe the smartwatch does it, but you do know the proper zone. But do you know the proper zone to get the most out of your workouts?
It's very important, and for today's third part of our running series, we asked the experts at Fleet Feet Savannah what heart rate zone we should be striving for.
Mike at Fleet Feet Savannah again coming at you. We're talking more to the intermediate trainer out there this time. We want to continue to stay with those building the weekdays, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. These are for the runners that are coming back into the sport. Maybe you've been absent for a few months and you're getting back to building that program. Some of the exercises you can do, some of the training programs you can do, is you still want to start off a little slow and build yourself up, and we want to keep some of those runs still at the lower heart rate. However, you can get more aggressive on some of your runs. Let's also define some heart rates real quick, so that way when we talk about these different training zones where we are, you kind of get an idea of where you need to be. When I talk about an easy pace, right, that lower heart rate, Z1, Z2, you should be able to carry on a conversation with your buddy next to you with no problem. Shouldn't be heavy breathing. You should be able to carry on a conversation. Very, very simple, right? Z3 and above, that's when you really start pushing, right? Z3 to Z4, you're not having that conversation. You're feeling a little bit more strained. You can realize that you're sucking in a little bit more air than you normally are, right? And Z4 and above, Z5, I mean, you should be at the sprinter pace there, right? That's when you're really driving as hard as you could possibly drive. When we're talking about those different zones too, Z2 down, easy conversation, you should feel like you could be able to go like that for miles and miles and miles. Z3 and 4, that's something that you're going to be at that's a race pace type situation where you can't really talk. You're running a 5K race, you're giving it what you've got, right? Your Z5 is where you're at the end of the race, you see the finish line, and it's time to sprint. It's time to give it everything you've got, that when you cross that finish line, you're doubled over, grabbing your knees going, wow, I just finished strong. So that gives you kind of a perspective of what we talk about when we're talking about the Z's. So your intermittent training, we're back to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We want to develop that good pattern, right? Those nice schedules. And what you can do there then is start to build some Z2 activity, Z2 and below, where we're running naturally, we're feeling good. We're going to add, that's where we're adding the length to our runs. That's when we're trying to run the most volume. That's when we're adding those times to get those longer distance in. However, at your intermediate level, that's when we can begin to integrate some of those Z3 and Z4 training programs, right? We're talking about tempo runs, we're talking about negative splits, and we're talking about speed work. Those are some of the fundamental exercises or training sessions that you can do that helps develop speed, right? Our Z2 and below, we're developing distance. Z3 and above, we're developing that speed. We want about an 80-20 split there. So your Z3, Z4, some of the things that you can do, we'll talk about those tempos and negative splits. The tempo, you should get yourself up in that Z3, Z4, but you should be able to hold that for a little bit, right? That should be a good run where you do a nice easy warm up, Z3, Z4, be ending in Z4, where you have a nice 10, 15, 20 minutes worth of that exercise, and then a 5-10 minute cool down. When we get to the negative splits, obviously, right, you're gonna be running faster through the time. You can do it by the mile or you can do it by the time, but every time during those intervals you should be getting increased. Your heart rate's going to steadily increase, and once you get to that Z4 you're going to recognize it, and you should be feeling strained at the end of that exercise.
That's some serious running information.
Yeah, yeah. It's
He's not just lacing them up and going out and then putting a little jog in.
That's right. And it is funny, right? You think of running, oh, it's easy. Just go out there, run how I've always run, do what I've always done. But these little things that, you know, these bits of advice from the experts can really help you keep running, maybe make you want to keep running because you start seeing improvement. So
it's actually, you wouldn't think this, it's actually very easy to get hurt running.
Oh, yeah.
So if you follow advice like this, it's going to eliminate the injuries or help you prevent the injuries. It's going to allow you to run longer and farther.
Yeah, I like the tip there about, you know, if you can talk while you're running, you know, that's how you know you're in that lower range. I always used to get so annoyed. I'd run with people and they'd be trying to have a conversation. I can't. I'm out.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Talk to you if I make it to the end. Hey, we got more fun coming up after the break. The Savannah